Okay.
Try this straight away.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Good. Brilliant. 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 Okay. So,
Good.
okay.
Good. Brilliant.
Good afternoon to you all. You're watching a joint broadcast from Angela TV and myself, Citizen AY.
Good.
We are both activists in the
Good
journey. We've been in
afternoon
this
to
journey for
you
some
all.
time,
You're watching a joint
from the
broadcast
days
from
of
Angela TV and myself, Citizen AY. We are both activists in the journey, in
Showore
this journey for
and
some
trying
time.
to get things
From the
going,
days of
and make raise awareness about our rights, and also the revolution now and all of that. So we go way back, and and Angela has always been uh, a person of very very kind spirit, really trying to be helpful to as many people as possible. She's a giver. She gives and gives and gives and gives, and that is one of the things that is endearing about her. She looks out for everybody and tries to help. Even as we speak, there is a health hospital in Nigeria that she's running, all with her own funds. I have to commend you for doing that, Angela. That is awesome. That is what we need to do. It's a shame that we are even having to depend on the kindness of others in a nation where we are wealthy. That is an indictment on itself. So I just wanted to just state that there, Angela. And there are many of you, I'm sure there are many of you in Nigeria that have been in direct contact with Angela, and she's been, you'll agree and you can confirm what I'm saying. She's always willing to help us many people, in as many ways, to try and get the best out of life, under those difficult circumstances. So I want to thank you very much, Angela, for the work that you do, and not many people are aware. So, but no, no, yes, oh, mm, yeah, 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 yeah. Indeed, indeed, indeed. I agree. I agree. Oh, yeah, good.
I agree. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Angela. I appreciate this. Good afternoon to you all. Now, today, the reason why we're doing this broadcast is because, as we all know, we've had elections, and the elections have shown us what is on ground right now. And we cannot make any changes, whether or not However, when we look at it, we cannot do anything else other than wait another 5 years for to improve our governance. That's just it, and we need to work with what we have now. Yes, many of us want to have Yoruba Nation tomorrow. Myself included, I want to have it tomorrow. People want to have Biafra tomorrow. But the reality is we cannot have that right now. And that is important to really understand. It's not to say that... But the reality is we cannot have that right now. And that is important to really understand. It's not to say that... I said this years ago. No. No. We cannot have Biafra for now. We cannot have Oduduwa for now. But when we all come together as a unit and fight this, then we will have the right person that can split. Exactly. On everything we want. But for now, exactly. We got to fight to stabilize our geographical area. We all live in a geographical area, whether we like it or not. Exactly. There's no way. We are absolutely. Exactly. Absolutely. Yes. So, very much like Angela said, so for that reason, one of the things that we have to recognize is that for us to actually even get Biafra or Yoruba Nation, we first need to understand what it means to be a citizen. What powers do we have as a citizen? Those are the kind of things that we're really trying to empower and communicate. And for 24 years, I want to tell you, maybe you may not be aware, there is a secret that has been hidden from all of us. And that secret has been this. For 24 years, we have had the powers as citizens to hold our governance to account. Let me say that again in case you didn't hear me. For 24 years, we have had the powers to hold our governance to account within the Constitution, as flawed as it is. But we have not been taught about it. It's been brushed over. They put other things in our mind to take us away from from knowing those facts. And what we are doing on this platform is to really bring that to your attention so that you can begin to really understand the power that you possess. And more importantly, not only about knowing it, what is critical is that many of us are not aware that that Constitution empowers us. And because it is not in our local languages, that is a further complication that has impacted the people in the villages, in the towns, in the suburbs. Many people, when you talk to them about the Constitution, they only know, oh, it's now Imbo. Me, I don't get to Imbo. Now we didn't talk. Oga Toka. That is it. They don't, you see, it gives you this sense of not being powerless. And that is what we are trying to change by bringing this kind of program. That Constitution belongs to you. You are empowered by that Constitution to hold your government to account. And you collectively in your communities, you can begin to, once it's translated into your local languages, you can begin to hold them to account. You can begin to actually question. You can question President Tinubu right now. I want you to believe that. You have the power to question from President Tinubu downwards. The minute it is translated into Yoruba, into Igbo, into Ishon, into Efik, into Hausa, into all the languages, that means that a man that is living in the village, he will know his right within the Constitution and be able to speak up. When a politician comes down from the city and say, I'm going to give you 5,000 naira, he will say, okay, I don't want your money. Me, I know my right. Me, I be sovereign. I won't make you fix my road. That is what we want to get to. We want to get to that point where you can talk about the fact that that road in your community, that you have the power to demand for them to fix it. You have the power to ask the politicians, where is the money meant for that road? Where has it gone? Who spent it? Who's the contractor? And all of those things, it starts from one single place. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. We will do something. I'll quickly read the one in English. I don't like to read it in English because for me, we need to change our mindset. It has to be in our local language first. We have to say everything we want in our local language because that's our mother tongue. When you put English before our own language, it means that you are making us a second-class citizen from the get-go. You need to change that mindset. You have to change that mindset. It has to be in your local language Because your mom and your father that gave birth to you, the language they speak is the language that you grew up to know, not English. So you see, there's a mentality that we have to change here. That is what we are trying to do on this platform. So let us start off here. The first thing that I want you to know is this. In the Constitution, under Section 42A, and now I know this offhand because I've been studying the Constitution for quite a few years. And incidentally, yesterday was 5 years anniversary since I started the Citizen AY Constitutional Awareness Action Group. 5 years. We've been on the idea of raising the awareness about the Constitution in Nigeria. So I want to thank every single member that has been joining and contributing to that. So we are truly grateful for your support. So what I really want us all to do now, to now understand and to begin to share this, is first I will reluctantly speak it in English. Reluctantly. And I say reluctantly because I believe in putting us first in our own land. You do not see the English putting somebody else first. No way. You don't see the French putting the English first in French land. We must put ourselves first. But for the purposes of explanation of the Constitution today, I will speak in English. But from here on, I want us all to know these words in our own local languages and speak about the Constitution to our people in a language that they understand so they can participate. But let's start off. Here are the two most important pieces of the Constitution that you need to know. It is in English, but I will say it also in Yoruba. Now, Section 42A of the 1999 Constitution states, and I quote, "Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this Constitution, derives all its powers and authority." Now, you remember, Angela, I don't know if you have it on the screen on you there, but don't worry, we'll do a further broadcast. But let me read that to you again, in case you misunderstand me or you didn't hear me properly. Section 42A of the 1999 Constitution. Yes, we know it's fraudulent. Yes, we know we don't want to change it. But these powers we can use in the time being to begin to hold those we elected to office to account. We need to collectively use those powers. And it has to be in our local languages. But before we do that, I'm going to read it again. Section 42A states, "Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this Constitution, derives all its powers and authority." Very important point to understand there. Please, as you're getting this broadcast, share it. Let it go far and wide. So, what does that mean? It means that you and I, we are sovereigns. We have powers of control over the government. The powers that the government used to govern us, they derive it from every community. All 774 local government areas, they derive that powers from them. Without those powers coming from the 774 local government areas, they cannot govern. So they require you to lend them. You are lending them your powers for them to govern over you. As a result of that, Section 42C states, "The participation by the people in their government shall be in accordance with the provisions of this Constitution." That is what Section 42C states. What does that mean? It means that as a sovereign, you have the power to participate in your governance, to hold your governors to account, to question them, to demand for answers, to demand for them to come to town hall meetings, to demand that they fix your roads, to demand that they give account of the money that they are spending every month in your local community. But without knowing about these powers, you can't exercise it. You see, this is something that is hidden in open plain sight, and we need to change the mindset. Now, to deepen this knowledge, we need it to be in our local language. To deepen this knowledge, this has to be in our local language. Now, let me give you an example. I have done the Yoruba one, and then I'll get Angela to play the Ishan version. So now I am. Oh, okay. Angela to play the Ishan version. Oh, have you sent it to me? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll go ahead. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll have a good time. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are following what we're saying. And please do bear with us if it does look a little bit, if you don't follow at first, but just bear with us. I want you to know that it is important to understand that you have these powers. And what we are simply doing is to try and encourage you to share this in your community. It is not good enough for you to just listen to what we are saying and let it end there. You need to play your part. Every one of us, to make this change work. Every single part of us is like a car. If you don't have every part of the car working, the car will not function. We need every part of the country, all 7 and 7 local government areas to be involved in this process. So you watching me, be it Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Efi, all of you, share the broadcast, communicate it. Now I am going to read to you what that section 42A and 42C says in Yoruba, because we need people to hear. The reason why they need to hear it in their language is because for market women, vulcanizers, for farmers, for those dead people who call security men, they don't know English. So if they don't know English, they cannot use their powers as sovereigns. They don't understand it. We need to put it in the language they understand, their local language. So, for example, in Yoruba language now, it states this way. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tíjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So that is loosely a translation of sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, for whom the government through this constitution derives powers and authority. So I'm going to read that to you again in Yoruba. The reason why we have to have it in Yoruba is because, like I said, the market women, when they hear that they have those powers, they are empowered themselves psychologically. It is a mindset change we are going for. We are trying to do something called a total mindset change. When they know and they understand the powers in their local language, they are more likely to use those powers and participate in their governance. The current way that the constitution is, it pushes the people away. The people feel removed from their own constitution and they're not able to participate. And that is what we are suffering from. First and foremost. Now the second part, so I'll read that to you again in Yoruba. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ní tìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So that's 42A. Now 42C now tells you how to use those powers again in your local language. And it says that ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Now, those people in the market women particularly, and I respect, and you will hear me talking about the market women. I love my moms. I love my moms. They are, look, without our women, we don't have a nation. Forget it. Without our women, we don't have a nation. We have to, you see, to start, once they are part of this process, once they start speaking and know their powers of, the powers of sovereignty in their language, there is no force stopping them. They will make sure that the road in their community is built. But they don't know. They don't know that it's in the language. And that is what we are trying to bring about now. We are trying to bring about that change so that our people can begin to participate, to really hold the government to account. Now, when I first read those things to you, when you read it in English, firstly, English is not your mother tongue. Your understanding of what you read, you don't comprehend what you read. Oh, it's just a word. They are just words to you. Now, when you now put it in Yoruba language, like I just said, what that means is that not only are you understanding the words in there, you are able to act upon it. You are able to act upon it. That is the big difference that we're trying to change now. So now, before we go and talk about, we want to go for Yoruba nation, we want to go for Biafra nation. If the people do not know the powers they possess, and they don't know how to use it, how are we going to change that? How are we going to change that? The only way that we can do this, is of course what I'm showing you. And that is what? Beg your pardon, I'm just going to try and change a few things. That is what? To translate the Constitution into our local languages. Because by doing so, the people will now become part of the process. They are not removed from the process of governance. As it currently stands, our people are removed from the process of governance. Those of you who are on YouTube and Facebook, thanks for joining us on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to the power. Apology for the lateness in bringing the broadcast up. I had one or two issues, but nonetheless, we are talking about our awareness and the need for us to have the constitution in our local languages. I am here with Angela HealthTV. Me and Angela, we go back a long way, and we have been talking and trying to really talk about empowering our people in our communities, how to make sure that they are empowered. We went along under the banner of Revolution Now. We supported Chowore. We fully believed in that process. And we were even, from the day, I remember when we went at the town hall meeting in London, one of the first things I talked about was to be aware of our constitution. I did a live, if you go and look at the live broadcast back in 2018, I spoke about it there that we need to know the constitution. There are some rights that we can use. But nonetheless, the journey along, going there with Chowore, was a learning curve for all of us. Because we believe that the system, the government of the day and the subsequent government, they will comply with the laws of the land. Now, we all know that is not the case. So not only were they just trying to give us mouthpiece, just talk, it's fine, as long as we will decide. They decide, and they have removed the powers of you being able to decide from you from day one. For over 24 years, what I just read to you in Yoruba and in English, those things were hidden in plain sight. We need our people to start sharing it in all local government areas. Please, you have a role to play. You have a role to play in ensuring that this message reaches into the innermost part of your community, in your local language. Our goal right now is to implore our federal government to ensure that the constitution of the nation has to be in the mother tongue of each and every local government area. It has to, no ifs, no buts. And you need to join in this struggle. Because without doing that, you see the roads that you want, the schools, the bridges, the healthcare, the safety, the security, the light, the water, it will not materialize. So this is the foundation. We are doing foundational work. And what is more, let me add, should in case the government fail when we start exercising those powers, it gives us the power to now go forward and instruct those we elect into office to pass laws to insert inside the current constitution a referendum. Because why? We are the sovereigns, and we will instruct them to come to a town hall meeting, and we'll send them back to the State House of Assembly, the National Assembly, to go and pass a law to demand for a referendum to be inserted in the Constitution, because we are now actively participating in our governance. You see, either way, we are in a win-win situation. If they do what they say, if they do what we say, and they build the roads, fine, we can stay in Nigeria. But if they don't, we have the added power as sovereigns to ensure that sovereignty clause is inserted in the Constitution using the powers of sovereignty. We need to understand that. So please, do not for 1 second think that when I'm saying, oh, we have to know the Constitution, that I'm believing in Nigeria. I don't. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't. Because the evidence on ground, look at the suffering of the people. Look at the way people are dying. A young man jumped down the bridge with a rubber around his neck. He was luckily saved. I've got the video. A woman jumped into the sea. People are jumping straight from the bridge onto the floor and dying. So Nigeria has not given us anything to be proud of. They have to, the only way they can do that now is to make sure that we, the people, who they promise that they're supposed to serve, 200 million of us, they must begin to ensure that those powers that we have, that they ensure that we get those to use those powers. But they won't do it without us taking action. No? They won't do it without you and I beginning to go into our communities. This is a job for each and every one of us to do. Now, Angela, have you got the copy or have you got the voice thing back here or you haven't yet?
This is a job for each and every one of us to do.
Yes.
Now, Angela, have you got the copy or have you got the voice thing back here or you haven't yet?
There's two parts of it. Yes. There's two parts, isn't there? There's two parts. Yes.
Two parts of it. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Two parts.
So the first part is It's section 14.2a. 14.2a. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria. So if you know that part, play it now.
So the first part is section 14.
Please just tell them again what we're reading. Can you say so? Hang on, Angela. What Angela is going to play now is 14.2a of the 1999 Constitution.
Again, what we're reading.
Yeah, go ahead.
So hang on, Angela. What
Yes,
we're going to play now is 14.2a of the 1999 Constitution. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, sir.
So this was pre-recorded and explained to me. So this person explained it more than I would have explained.
That's fine. That's fine.
So it just
That's okay.
it's less than a minute.
2a. 2a. 14.2a. Section 14.2a.
Section 14.
2a.
Is it section 14?
14.2a. Section 14.2a.
Of Nigerian Constitution initial. So Wakaho and all the issues here today, Bawa Wakaho na so Balen, Ebare record government here, ne Yamuwalu, they come to the village, Ekiati, different kinds of promising me so. Look at Ekoma Road, Ekoma Ubiata Road. That road is nonsense. You can't even go through that. And in motor, they get stuck in Ekoma Ubiata Road all the time. I see that. I see a pastor who's doing a very good job. Okay, a pastor who's doing a very good job showing us everything. Look at Warri Saple Road. Warri those days, when you're going to Warri those days, you think you're going to abroad because of the oil we have. So, also Sapona, I was not fortunate enough to have a friend who break it down for me better than I would have. So I'm going to play, I told him I was going to play the voice note. So some people that are online, and forward these videos to everybody in the villages. This is just the beginning. Me and Ayo have come a long way with Showore and everybody. We've been fighting just for us to have a better country. Nobody wants to stay in other people's land. Yes, we have a good life here and all that, but your home is your home. Home is home. Have you ever heard every time the bird sings? It tells you your home is your home, no matter how dirty it is. So all they just need to do is to give us peace and security and leave the money alone. The leaders are too possessive. How much money do you need
Yes.
in your lifetime? You have a private jet.
Exactly.
You want three. Look at Akon the other day. Akon say, hell no,
Yes.
I'm not buying no private jet. I tried this 6 months
Exactly.
ago. No, it's not mine. And Akon has the money. Why do we have misplaced priority all over the place? And Akon has the money.
It will make it.
Private jet. But
Yes.
he thinks it's a waste of money. He said the maintenance alone is up to
It will bring it to
$4 million.
yes.
I'm not even talking of my own money. 6 to 7 for yearly maintenance. Those are all waste of money. Akon already told us that. So these politicians, they just need to get hold of themselves and stop being possessive about money. Money that you will not even finish in your lifetime. And you see people suffering, that don't bother you. That's not good.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. 14a. 14.2a. 14.2a.
Section 14.
Yes.
14A, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. 14a. 14.2a. 14.2a.
14.2A.
Yes.
This is the Constitution. So you guys know, Banle, how powerful the citizens are. The power is not for the government. The power is for the citizens. That's just the truth. But when they're coming, they come to intimidate you with guns and
Yes.
uniforms and all that. That shouldn't be. God forbid in the US
Yeah.
or in the UK where you are, Ayo,
Yes.
the soldiers.
Yeah, exactly.
Them on the street.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
God forbid the police harass you wrongly. Because
Exactly.
you're rich.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You see the policemen
No.
intimidating Nigerian citizens, laying them on the floor and beating them. That is all style. That doesn't
Yeah.
work
Go ahead.
anymore.
No.
So,
No.
14.
let's
142A. 142A.
So
Yeah,
this is
go
the
ahead.
Asian version of the section 14 of the
14,
Nigerian Constitution.
142A. 142A.
14.2a.
Naturally, constitution of Nigeria. I mo weke uwe igbe le he ahu na rehia na re uhia ogbe uno si Nigeria na ole oye. Ele atobe yo gede le sel ye le anole weke of inefi natural politics eba le hia ye. Obe o ole na huye. Oyo se we government ke.
Thank you. So, just to
So that's the
you.
interpretation of the Asian version. So
So,
also
just to,
so I will not say I will not say I will
yeah,
have I will
yeah. Okay, so just thank you very much, Angela. Just to reiterate again, for those of you who are joining us again, what we just had there was the section 142A of the Nigerian Constitution in Asian language. Now, the object of us doing that, many will say, what's the point of having a constitution in translating it? It is very important because the people in the village, if they don't know the constitution in the language, they cannot participate in the governance. So that is what we are trying to really, put forward and encourage us. So just to recap, in English again, that constitution goes like this. 42A goes like this. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Now, that is very, very important information that we must have access to and begin to use. It's not so much for you to sort of go and do this on your own. It is about the community as a whole collectively having that information and using that consistently to begin to hold the governance to account. It is the power comes from our collective effort. And how to do that? Section 42C says, the participation by the people in their governance shall be in accordance with the provisions in the Constitution, Section 42C. So now, we've had the 42A. Let us hear the 42C from your friend again, Angela. Go ahead, over to you. Okay. Both of them at the same time. Okay. So maybe you might want to, would you mind playing it all again for us so that people can hear it? Thank you. Okay, that's fine. Okay, thank you very much. Of the, okay, yes, 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 indeed, yes, Exactly. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Yes. Exactly. Yes. We'll have the Asian version. Now, quickly, just to. Yes. Language. Exactly. Hmm. Yes. And also, exactly. 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 Absolutely. Now, one of the things I would like to state, and I want to restate, is this: the 1999 Constitution is a fraud. Everybody knows that. It is a fraud. The exclusive list has stripped away many of the powers of our local government, and even state government. They have stripped them of the powers and it's put it in the center. And that is oppressing us. The resources meant for each of the local areas is being pulled to the center so anybody can take it and tap it and use it with no questions asked. But, however, as bad as it is, these powers that I read to you earlier on, and I'm going to read it to you again. This time I'm going to read it in Yoruba first. I'm going to read it in Yoruba first, and it states in Yoruba 14:2a. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tíjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So that's section 14:2a in Yoruba. Now I'm going to read it to you in English so we understand. In English it says, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. So that means that you are a sovereign. Each and every one of you, in all 774 local government areas, you are a sovereign, and collectively, you can begin to hold your governance, your local government area offices, you can hold them to account. How do you do that? It tells you in 14:2c. And I'll say it again in Yoruba. Ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Now we're going to translate that, do that in English. And in English it says, the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. That is what 42C states. Now those two powers, you can use it to hold your governance to account right now. One of the things that I want us to do, we need to understand that if we do not participate in the process of governance, we are going to continue to suffer at the hands of these politicians. And there is no other way out of Nigeria other than to begin to participate in that process. That is what we need to understand. Now, to aid that process, you had me read the second time now with Yoruba first. That is deliberate. I am doing that deliberate because in the minds of the people who are hearing this, when they hear it in their language and they understand it, you are more likely to actively participate. You will take part because you understand the words in your own language of what the Constitution means to you and how you can use those powers. We are calling on the federal government to translate that Constitution in its entirety to all the 350 languages. If they can loot billions and trillions of naira, they can use less than 10 million naira, maybe 20 million naira, I don't know, something like that, to print the whole Constitution. And they can even put it on a website. They can put it on website that people can access. So we are calling on them. If they really believe in one Nigeria, then they need to begin to show that the people who are in one Nigeria, in their local languages, they matter. And they will show that by making sure that each of the languages, they have the constitution in the language so they can participate in their own governance. Without that, anything else they're doing now is all talk shop. It's all empty talk. It's all designed to keep us enslaved. And we need to change that. So let me add something more, Angela. Please, we are not just saying read this and know it and leave it at that. No. What this information we're telling you now, we'll be doing some courses. We'll be running courses. One of the things we want to do is to translate the Constitution into our local languages. I'll give you, there's a website that I've got in place that I'm going to be showing on a month-by-month basis how we're doing that. So I will put the link. In fact, I will do that. You will see come up. It's on www.citizennay.org. So I've been doing some translation in Yoruba But I also am happy to receive from others, from other languages. We can put them there. So we will put the links for each of the languages on citizenay.org. So you can have access to that and use it in your language and use it in your own community. You see, it is about community work now. It's not about individualism. It's about the collective benefit that we will get in our community. And that is what we are really focusing on. So www.citizenay.org. So you will be seeing the translation coming up there. What we want to do now, briefly, I will show you, I will talk you through the steps we need to take. From now on, we need to encourage our communities to begin to do something. First thing first, they need to be demanding for town hall meetings every month. Town hall meetings with the local government chairman, state house of assembly member, house of reps, senators, governors, once a month. And everybody in that community must begin to understand. And this is why when the information, I will send you I think I've sent you a picture of the Constitution in English. Please share it on your website. We need people to share that to everybody they know. So we begin to know the powers we possess. That is how we are going to change this. This is the mindset we need. And of course, we'll do that in English. Then we will do it. I've got it in Yoruba. I can send that to you. And we can translate the one in Isha as well. Because we need, the more this knowledge deepens in our society, the more the people can become empowered to hold their governors to account in their language. You see, every time we speak English in a foreign language in our land, we are putting ourselves at the bottom of the pile. No way must we do that anymore. No. It's about mindset. We put ourselves at the top of the pile in our own land. Because in that land, you've got gold, you've got oil, you've got bitumen, you've got all of this stuff, everything. But when you speak English, while they're speaking the English, as they're speaking the English, they're taking the resources out of your own land. But if it's in your language, who go do it? For which side? How they go take it? They can't do it. So this is all part of the process that we need to change. So I am telling each and every one of you, I want you to stand tall, stand proud in your language. Say your language with pride. Make the people of your community feel proud when they speak Isha in the morning and they say hello to the bed and they show the respect and they understand the power they possess in the Constitution. Say it in Yoruba. Say it with pride. I'm not saying ignore your English. You need English for translation. But please, I need you to understand something. English is not a sign of intelligence. Let me say that again. English is not a sign of intelligence. And that is the problem we are facing. You will see people on the TV. They will be coming. Yes, the economy should be this way. We should. All that now gibberish. It means nothing. Now we're here. Thank you, my sister. Now we're here. So we need to understand the pride in our language goes beyond just speaking the language. It emboldens us. It empowers us. It frees our community to take action for themselves without those of us abroad having to take action because they know what they're dealing with. That is the power of what we're saying. So I am absolutely certain about this. We need to take this collective action. It is something that if you want to join in this, you can of course join Citizen AY Constitutional Awareness Action Group. And in there, we talk about the Constitution. I bring it up as often as possible. And there's a guy called Bright Osai. You know him. We've talked about that as well. And Angela, myself, and others. So we need a big group of people from across a wide section of Nigeria to begin to take this action. This is more important than any church or any mosque. I'm sorry if you are offended. Because the churches and the mosques, in 63 years, they have not changed your life. They have not changed your life. They have not improved your community. The road in Ondo State, whilst they were going to a church, 25 people were abducted from the church. 25 people in Ondo State. So I know what I'm saying when I'm saying to you that religion is not a solution. What we need to know, and what's more, please, I want everybody to understand this. The religions, they have translated the religion of Islam into Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, probably in other languages. They have translated Christianity into Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, other languages. But the constitution that they used to govern us, why haven't they changed it? Why haven't they translated it to a language? What are they trying to achieve? Please think. I want you to use this brain. Please use this brain. Use it. So, you see, there is a purpose, there's a method to this madness that they're showing us. They don't want us to know the powers we possess within the Constitution. And we have to break it down line by line. Do you know that in the Constitution it states that the government shall ensure that each community has adequate medical health care? Do you know that? Section 73. It says so in the Constitution. Again, we are going to translate that into Yoruba language, into Igbo, into Isha, so that the people in the community don't have to wait for people who are abroad before they take collective action. What we are trying to do is to free you from within your community, using your language to empower you to stand up and hold those you elected to office. They are answerable to you. So, going back to the suggestion. 1, town hall meetings. We need town hall meetings. 2, we need to have a copy of the Section 42A and 42C to share to everybody you know in your language, in the language they understand. Share it to them. Number 2. Number 3, there is something called a Federal Account Allocation Committee. There is a monthly account that's going to each of the local government areas. You need to begin to question them. Where is those funds coming? You have the right, because now, like I said, sovereignty belongs to you. And it's from you that the government derives powers and authority. So those 3 things, number 1, the Constitution, 42 and 42C, town hall meetings, Federal Account Allocation Committee. Now, one more thing I want you to do. Once you master this Constitution, the 42 and 42C, at the town hall meetings, we need to start reminding every elected official what their role is. So when they sit down at the meeting, and you call them to meeting, collective in your community, once you call them to the meeting and they sit down, you greet them. Oh, God, welcome. Okay, you not do well. Oh yeah, before we begin, we want to make you remember what you're supposed to do. You know, you can say it in English, you can say it, whatever works. Say it. And then you read to them the Constitution, that's Section 42 and 42C in your language, particularly 42A. Because in there, make sure you're looking at them in the eye, so that you have to pass them, you are passing a message to remind them that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, those sitting down, the senators, the House of Reps, the local State House Assembly, the local chairman, the governors, you are reminding them that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through the Constitution, derives all its powers and authority. You have to do this on every month, because for 24 years, you weren't able to do it. You need to start reminding them. Because every month, when they come to your meeting, they will be shaking. These people will be, I promise you, they will be shaking. But yeah, we don't enter that today. They will be shaking. And that is why you need to have it in your language. You need to have this in your, honestly speaking, I will not tire of doing this. I need more people to join. Angela, thank you for taking and showing an interest. And you have always, anyway, what am I saying? We've been part of this struggle. You've been discussing with me. So, but I'm just glad that we are talking about this at this level. And we need to continue to do this. There's a lot of work for us all to do. But I'm absolutely certain that, number 1, have 42A, 42C, share it among friends. Number 2, town hall meetings is a must. You have the right to call town hall meetings and call the following people I'm about to mention to the meeting. You have that right. Local government chairman, State House of Assembly members, House of Reps, senators, even governors, you have the right. Governor of Ogun State, he's owing, they've not paid 2 years plus the money for the Federal Account Allocation Committee meant for the local government areas. And nobody's doing anything. Unless we take collective action, that will not change. And that is why we need that thing, those constitutions translated into our languages, so the people that are affected the most, they understand their powers, they understand how they use it, and then they use it, they apply it to those they should, that they are elected to serve them. That is the most important thing we must begin to do. And we need to be consistent in this message. Again, I reiterate, every month at the meeting, you must read that section to each and every elected official coming in. So you are reminding them that their staff will also, they will have to go and tell their staff, please, the people are telling us, this is the message, we are serving them. Because if you do not, and that is why our participation is so critical. Our participation as citizens is so critical in this process. You see, it is more than, it's like 60% of the work of government. What I'm telling you here, the work that we're talking about here is 60% of the work of governance. Because without our role, you can see what is happening. Because we're not participating, these guys are just looting and getting away, and they clean out. They go chop, clean out, and nothing happens. So we need to change the mindset. So please, and we will come back and talk some more about this. But I think here we will stop for now. Yes. Okay, now, I mean, as we all know, I mean, the Constitution, the sections I read now is within the 1999 Constitution. So it is all part of it. But like again, the 1999 Constitution, it is something that we never signed up on. It was imposed on us. That is the sad part of it. In 1999, Abdul Salam signed a document saying that we, the people of Nigeria, having solemnly agreed to be one indivisible unit and all of that nonsense, without our say so, without any referendum, they imposed this fraudulent document on us. But unbeknownst to them, the chicken is coming home to roost now. This section, and I'm sure that they didn't even write the document themselves. I'm sure it was given by somebody to them to use. Because if they read this bit, they would have taken it out. If they knew this bit was in it already before they signed it, they would have taken it out. But they can't take it out now. It is in it. So, the Constitution of Nigeria, please, it is fraudulent. It needs to be redrawn. But this section that I'm showing you, 14.2a, 14.2c, you need to memorize it. And one more thing I'd like to add. We need to teach this to our children, 4 years old. You know why I say 4-year-old? From the age of 4, it's not maybe. Age of 4, I went to Sunday school learning about Christianity, about Jesus Christ, about the laws of Christianity. From the age of 4. In Keu, people who are in Islam, from the age of 4, they're going to Keu houses to learn it. So what is good for the goose, it's also good for the gander. We are going to learn our own constitution from the age of 4, because that is what when you see, you are planting seeds. When you teach the kids from the age of 4, by the time they are 16, they know they're right. They are not going to be fooled around. This is what we're trying to change. We're trying to change the mindset. The mindset is what we are about. So we stop somebody feeling hopeless and jumping off a bridge with a rope around his neck thinking there's nothing else. Because they don't know they have these powers. And they need to know it in the language. Again, I add, English is not a sign of intelligence. Please. We need this constitution in our local languages. So I will stop there for now. I mean, there's more to be talked about in this constitution. But you see, that constitution, the way they structured it, there are some good bits. Do you believe that in that constitution, it allows people in the north to marry a 2-year-old girl? It allows a man to marry a 2-year-old girl. And then they will say, exactly, and they will say in it, because she is married, she's deemed to be 16 years old. In the constitution right now. Right now. I'm not joking. I think it's section 21. Let me try and find it to you. I'm not joking. So, look, there are things we need to change. Of course. So, there are things we need to change in. Listen, it's not funny. But you see, if we don't participate in it, so please, those of you, let me just spend a few minutes talking to people who want to go for Biafra, who want to go for Yoruba Nation. I'm with you. I am with you. Look at my car. Look. No. This is Angela. Well, it's free now. He's free now, but they are still calling into court and things. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. 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 Oh, sorry about that. Hmm.
Nothing that will be going on, like I said before. There's nothing that will be going on in Ore
Oh,
that will
sorry
not
about that.
affect Edo.
Sorry.
If we affect the mouth, that will not affect
Yeah.
the tongue, or the mouth that will not affect the nose. So we need sanity in that
Sorry.
geographical area. We need peace.
Yeah.
We need security. Then people can dialogue and tell people, the reasonable people, what they want. Do Tinubu really look like who will give you your Duduwa? Come on now. Is it take the present president to divide, if they have to divide anything? Is it take the Senate? Is it take all these people that don't even care whether you are shouting or not? So you need the sane and the right people in those seats to be able to get what you want. It's not this group of people. Are you crazy? You know, look at how many years does it take Showore to be free? But we, as the few people, are still the one that back him up no matter what. But you guys will still be
There's
talking.
no.
Oh, you are eating. You are eating.
Yeah.
You are that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think.
I see.
Sorry about that.
Upon all the
I think one of the things that people need to understand, and I understand the frustration of many people. That's why I talk about this, and that's why we're doing more of this
I
program.
think. Sorry about that. I think.
I understand the frustration.
I think
I
one of the
understand.
things that people need to understand, and I understand the frustration of many people. That's why I talk about this, and that's why we're doing more of this program.
Yes.
It's I understand the frustration. I understand. It is not. It's not something that we are saying just lightly. It's taking me. We've been in this struggle from 2018 till now. Initially, believing that Nigerian government would comply with its own laws and the constitution, but we know better now. They don't, and that is because
They don't
they
comply
they,
with
don't,
anything.
they will not. And let me just say that nothing is going to change in the current situation as it is. That is all I'm saying. And the whole situation up to now just tells us that nothing is working at this point. Now, the only thing that we have left that we have not tried remains the participation of we, the self-brains, to whom the powers belong. That we must try. And it doesn't mean, by me saying that we must try it, that we should try it, doesn't mean that I've abandoned Yoruba Nation or I don't support Biafra. No, I am being realistic. We will not get any more discussion in terms of Yoruba or Biafra Nation being a real discussion until the next election.
Exactly.
We will not.
It's
So
for
between now and then, it behoves on us to not put the coming generation or ourselves to work within the confines of the powers that we possess, exploit those powers. And in any case, we need to prepare our people. We have to prepare our people to know those powers and how to use it. So that eventually, when you get Biafra, when you get Yoruba Nation, they know what governance is about. At this point, our people don't. Over 200 million people don't know what governance is about. Out of 220 million people, 200 million don't know what governance is about. So in those situations, it's like you are going to take them from fire pan into fire if we're not careful. It is the reality.
knowledge
People
is
need to understand knowledge is power. So So we are trying to change the mindset. It starts with knowing the constitution in your language. We need this constitution translated to each of the languages. Like I said, there's about 250 to 350 languages in Nigeria. And I am saying it categorically. It is not beyond the realms of possibility for the government of the day to translate it into local languages. In the UK, but that I'm speaking here, in the UK right now, in UK, they have the English, they have the Welsh, they have the Irish language.
Yes.
So when they do anything official, they always give the Welsh the option. If they want to hear or read the Lord of the Land in Welsh, they have the option. They even have phone lines that talk to them in Welsh. Please tell me what is wrong with having us having it in Nigeria? What is wrong? So if you're an issue, and you need to know, and you want to know what is going on in your government, you don't have to speak English. You see, when they put this, when they tell you if you can't speak, when they tell you if you can't read English, you can't read your law, they are excluding you from the process. I hope you understand that. You are being excluded from your process of governance, and you are being denied your right. Because your mother tongue is what should automatically, without even any question, be what they should be speaking to you in, so that you understand. One more thing about the language. From the age, late Professor Tokyo Luwole said something, and many people should really take heed of it. She said from the age of from the time a child is born to 6, by the time the child is 3, the child is already selling goods for her mom by the store. The mom can leave a 3-year-old by the store, go to the toilet, get something done in the floor, and come back, and the child will sell the good. The child will know the price. She can even haggle at the age of 3.
Yeah.
But when they go to school, they start regressing because they are telling them, no, your language is vernacular. So they start to regress it. So we need to be very, very careful about it.
Yeah.
What I suggest, I'm not saying abandon English, but English should be something that will be taught in secondary school as one of the subjects you choose. But your mother tongue must be the language that you speak. Yoruba, Isho, Igbo, Efik, Hausa. That is because you see, it makes you, when you speak as a Yoruba man, when you walk anywhere, you will speak with confidence. But because they told you, psychologically, when they tell you in your own land that your language is vernacular, when you go anywhere around the world, because of taking away your powers, you've been psychologically depressed. We must change this mindset. You must stand tall and proud when you talk like a Yoruba man. Ekaro, Ekason, Enleo, Shedadami, Ekule, Ekoariju. You say it with pride. It's who you are.
In this time, you must stand tall.
Thank you. There you go. See? That's it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Proud of where you come from.
That's it.
That's
So, and that is.
My son called me and said, "Oh,
there you go. There you go. You see, and you see
what?
what?
Born here. They try to.
Fantastic.
What they can.
Exactly. So, see, that is so important because it changes the mindset and how we carry ourselves. Many of us say, "Oh, I'm a Nigerian." Oh, now to say you're a Nigerian in the state of play of how things are now, sadly, you don't want to say it. You don't want to say it because what is there to say? Sadly, I hope the government will start changing things. I understand. Let me just say something. I'll give credit where it's due. This government, I'm hearing they're talking about all of us registering for NIN, National Identification Number. Apparently, oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Now, I'm hearing that it is going to be our kind of national insurance number so that people will get paid. I hope it works out.
Like Social Security.
Yes, Social Security, exactly. So I hope, this is something that we can applaud. But there is still a lot of work for the government to do to gain the trust of the people back. But how we do it now, we the people, we cannot leave it in their hands again. We have to be in control. Yes. We have to actively participate in our governance on a daily basis, using those things that, remember, you have the power as citizens to call town hall meetings once a month. You have that power. Yeah. And you call them and they cannot refuse you because sovereignty belongs to you. Yes. They have you. We need to teach this. So we are going to try and set up courses whereby we are looking for say, champions, citizen constitutional champions. In my group, I call them constitutional citizen AY Action Group champions, so that you can in each of the communities we will teach you how you can train others what you've learned about the powers of sovereignty and how each and every one of us can use it collectively within our community. Because that is how we are going to make this change. It is not going to be done by one person. Please, if you think one person will just wake up one day and say it won't happen.
No.
But all of us participating in that process, we have to take it and we have to be selfless about this.
Yes.
This is something that you will do. Please, if you are expecting an immediate reward on this one, it's not going to happen. No, I'm not going to lie to you. No. It is a selfless task. But if you do what we're saying, don't be surprised, and you continue and it grows bigger and bigger in your community. Don't be surprised. One day you will wake up, you say, I want the roads done, local government chairman. In a week, it's done. I want the guy to. It's a week, it's done. And you are monitoring them, and because of the fact that you are participating in your governance, it's about mindset change. Yes. Many of you now, you go to the churches, people will spend 10 hours in the church. They will do night vigil, till midweek, midnight, they will, all of that. Please tell me, has your roads changed? Have you got light? Have you got hospital? I'm just asking simple questions. The only thing left to try right now is what I am telling you, which is, please join us in the struggle. Translate. If you are able to, if you have a translation of the Constitution already, send it to us. Let us share it. It is not about me having to do it. In fact, I'll reiterate that point. Let me say it slowly. Anybody who has a copy of the Nigerian Constitution in local languages, let us have access. Set us the link. I will share your link. It is not about me. It's about our people being empowered to know the power that they possess in their local government. And we want somebody in Newi who is living in a village to know that he has the power to call the local government chairman to his neighborhood and say, Oga, now we be the sovereign. Now we pay your money. You must do what we ask. With confidence in his language. All of this, not a word of English, in their language. Can you imagine the mindset change that we're talking about? This is a societal mind change. And unless we take that on, you need to take it up with that clear understanding that you are looking for a common benefit for your community, for you all. Because when you do that work, and one day you want to go to hospital in your community, and you just walk down, 5 minutes, you're in your hospital, they are treating you. It's because of the work you've done as citizens, participating in your government, questioning them, reminding them, the people you elected to office every month. Remind them, like I said, every month you say, Oga, sit down, we are going to read this to you because for 24 years you didn't read it. Now we are going to remind you every month without fail. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all the power and authority. Oga, that means that you borrow power from us. And you get that? Not be saying that you the dash out to, now we they borrow you power. You get that? When we talk, say, make you fix our room. I bet fix up. Oga, you know, I tell you, I bet fix up. You see? So you begin to do that in a way. I'm deliberately speaking pidgin because I wanted to get here. I feel as more.
And don't forget, we need to let them know this is the era of social media. Anybody slap you,
yes.
any official want to
yes.
want to oppress you.
Yes.
I don't care what
yes.
the other
yes.
was trying to bring. Oh, social media and all that. Yeah, social media is good. That's
no.
Everything is in the open.
Yes.
You
now,
cannot be doing anyhow anymore.
Exactly. Did you hear about the guy was in Anambra State or something? A policeman that he slapped somebody. He's been demoted. They did a video of him live. So that is a good step. That is what we need. And we need to speak up. Behave yourselves. And our people in law must respect the people. And because of the era of impunity, they felt they could do whatever. They could slap somebody, they can kill them, and nothing happened. Well, that is changing. But you see, as citizens right now, Using the powers of sovereignty, it will put a stop to that. But it is something that has to be done by collectively in every community. One thing I would suggest to all of us, it is important that when we begin this task, everybody in the community must be part of this process. You have to empower yourself with the knowledge. And not only, once you empower yourself, share it with your neighbor. Because this is what is important. Because without that collective power, we can't make that change. It requires collective effort on a consistent basis, actively participating in our governance every day, night and day. Because that road that is bad, it's affecting you night and day. Your shock absorber, you pay 5, 10, 6, 8, 9, 10 times for one shock absorber that was supposed to last you for 3 years because the roads are bad. There's no light because your fridge will damage because the transformer suddenly put power. Your fridge and your cooker, everything burns, and you have to go and buy a new one. That's because you are ignoring that. These are the kind of things that the government should be doing for you. And you participating in that process will ensure that the government will never steer away from what they are supposed to be doing because you are steering them in the right direction as a sovereign, collectively.
Yes.
So there is a lot of work for us to do. We will be running more shows, and me and Angela will do more shows, and I welcome others. Please don't leave it to Angela and Sister Nenwai alone. We all have a role to play in this task. This is a huge task.
Now, if I can add this too, all the youth, the young youth, instead of you engaging yourself in rituals and engaging yourself in Yahoo, you can engage yourself in politics. Engage yourself in politics. You don't see the Kennedys. One person start, the other person start. The whole Kennedy are politicians. Yeah, if one finish, one die, the other one will pick them up from where the other one started. But I'm not saying it should be a family chain. There are some families that don't like, politics life and all that. But the young ones must join. Join. You know, you're sitting there saying we don't have job, but the time you